I want to say that if you're here and you're, one of those Christians that don't believe that Jesus can still do the miraculous, I want to say that Jesus is still in the miracle-doing, miracle-working business. We have seen God do some incredible things in marriages here in this church. We've seen people heal. We've seen people whose lives have been transformed. We've even seen it as a church. God allowed us to purchase 90 acres, and the county of Los Angeles helped us pay for it. How many of you know Jesus is still doing miracles, okay? That's incredible. So we could sit here all day and talk about the miracles that God has done, and He's still in the miracle working business, and we're thankful for that. But I want you to see this first miracle, because it is in Cana of Galilee. This was a place that Jesus was very familiar with, and it was a wedding. And so here, with the mother of Jesus, in verse 1, it says the mother of Jesus, Mary, she was there. So it was probably family. It was probably a close friend or relative. And so both Jesus and His disciples, verse 2, were called. They were invited. That's the word called. They were invited to this marriage. And when they got there, verse 3 tells us there was a big problem. And if you know this first miracle, you know what the problem was. They wanted wine, and the mother of Jesus said, "We have no wine." They have no wine. Now, you know this because it has happened between you and your mother at some point in your life. Moms are really good at pointing out problems. They just are. And by the way, moms always have a look. You know the look. I know the look. I don't know if Jesus' mother gave the look. We don't know that. Didn't tell us. But look at what she says. She doesn't ask him to do anything. She just states the problem. They have no wine. Jesus, you know what to do. By the way, when your mom says the trash is full, okay, that is not information, okay? That is like, what are you going to do about it? All right? So this is what's happening. She's like, there is no wine, and we need a miracle. By the way, I don't believe it's an accident that the first miracle Jesus did was at a wedding. You know why? Because I think every marriage needs a miracle. I think every single person who is in a broken world with two broken people in a marriage, man, they need a miracle. And I'm so thankful for the miracle power and the miraculous working that God. And by the way, some of you are in here and you've had a broken relationship or two, and man, you're longing for God's grace. Next week, we're going to talk about how God's grace gives us a seat at the table, and God's grace heals, and God's grace mends. It's a wonderful thing, but I want to tell you something. That in our life and in our society, the miracles we're looking for are often the things that happen instantaneously. In this microwavable, constantly looking for this cosmic way that we can try to push a button of prayer and get the miracle sent to us immediately, what's happened is we want the miracle to happen in a single moment. And I want to tell you how God works. Many times the miracle that God gives you isn't right away. Many times the miracle that God gives you is over a long period of time. Some of you have seen God do something over a long period of time, and you don't recognize the miracle because of the long period of time it has taken for God to do that miracle. You say, well, that's not a miracle at all. And I want to tell you that sometimes the miracle is in little moments that all add up. Sometimes it's not the thing that God amazingly did right away and just shocked you. Sometimes you look over your shoulder and you see, oh, wait a second. God was doing something all along and I didn't see His hand. I didn't see His miraculous hand until I look back and I'm like, man, it's been 20 years and we've been married. What happened all the time? Hey, wow, look at my kids. I still have a relationship with them. I still am able to talk to them. Like, that's a God-given miracle right there. And so, the word for wanted wine in verse number 3, they wanted the wine, is the same word, root word, where we get the word hysteria. And it's the word to be stressed out because something's lacking. To be stressed out because something didn't go as planned. There was a lady who had hysteria. She was stressed out because her wedding ring, who her husband had given her this wedding ring, and man, it was a family heirloom. I mean, they were so distraught over losing this. They looked everywhere. Have you ever lost something and you're like, okay, I need to find that now. And you tear everything apart. And so that's where she was. I mean, she looked everywhere, and your mind starts to play tricks on you. Like, did I leave it here? Did I leave it there? What happened? For years, they couldn't find it. 10 years after she lost this wedding ring that her husband's great-grandmother had given to him, she was in the garden and she was working, and she was harvesting some of the vegetables. And she pulled a carrot out of the ground, and on that carrot was her wedding ring. She had lost the wedding ring in the soil, and when she pulled the carrot out, that carrot had grown right down through the wedding ring, and she found it. And the couple, they were so happy and they were so excited. Hey, we found the wedding ring. What an amazing thing. Now, I don't know if it was God that grew the carrot down through that. I have no idea. But here's what I want to tell you, is that sometimes God will do things in the least expected way that you thought he was going to do it. And he's going to send the miracle to people who are the least likely to bring the miracle in ways that are most least likely for them to come, because he wants to give the glory. The miracle is not for you, it's for God's glory. Amen. And so if we make the miracle all about us, we will miss the point. That every single day, God's given his power so that he could show himself true and real to us in real times. And so here's what happened. Jesus gives the miracle of turning the water into wine. And he doesn't bring a little, he brings a lot.